Good afternoon. So my name is Eva, and today I would like to tell you more about ProFem 2, our project. But first, let me ask you to imagine a special place, like place you have connected to some special memory, place where you experience something nice. Can you recall sound or a color or an item connected to this place or to that memory, like something what when you see elsewhere takes you instantly back to that moment? It can be, for example, a cherry jam, which when you see in a shop, it reminds you of all the summer holidays you spent with your grandparents, with your loving grandparents and their summer house, you know, hand-picking cherries and making jam together. Or it can be a sound of a train, which now every time you hear it, it takes you back to all the university years you spent commuting to the city where you studied. Or it can be smell of a chlorine, and now when you smell it or something similar, it takes you back to the swimming lessons you took as a child and you enjoyed so much. Those can be great memories, right? They takes you back to the moments you enjoyed, you spent with the people you love, you had fun during those moments. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine there is a thing, a color or a sensation connected to really terrible, traumatic, and really stressful situation experience you had. That is the situation and the reality of the sexual violence survivors. Every day, like mundane or simple items can remind them of what they had gone through, of moments they would love to never think of again, such as a yellow backpack they see, for example, when in a metro or in a tram, and they have to spend so much energy to deal with the sudden memory of what happened to them, and they cannot control it. They are not in the power because they don't know when will be the next time they will see this yellow backpack reminding them of something this terrible. And that's why in ProFem, in our NGO, we are here to support victims and survivors of sexual violence and domestic violence. To support them to get back to a normal life, a life in which they feel that their story matters, their feeling matters, in which they know that there is someone who believes them, in which they are not alone with their pain. And the project, financed by European Commission, supported us immensely in improving our direct services for victims and survivors of sexual violence. So we can assist them better, we can react to problems they encounter, and we can come with the solutions or with services not available yet in Czech Republic. There are many great outcomes of the project, but I want to mention specifically two. One of them is this kind of interactive tool we use during psychotherapy and counseling for our clients, for survivors, which we explain the reaction of stress, or we explain how the brain works during the stress. You might know these reactions: fight, flight, freeze, but probably you don't know that you are not consciously choosing which reaction you will do during the traumatic situation, because your brain does. Your brain evaluates what's the best reaction to survive the situation, and we know that during the sexual assault, it's very often the freeze reaction. So we explain to our clients with this tool that the fact that they couldn't move, couldn't scream, couldn't kick or do anything in the situation was not because they chose to, they wanted to, but because their brain evaluated that as the best solution in the moment, and it was not their fault. Second outcome of the project was the preparation phase for the first rape crisis center and first comprehensive center for victims and survivors of sexual violence in Czechia. There is no such center in Czechia yet. It will be very unique, and we will be opening that in a few months. And we will provide these services which we already provide now in ProFem, like social counseling, crisis intervention, psychotherapy. But there will be many new services, such as STDs prevention, special interrogation room for police specifically equipped, or DNA samples evidence and collection. And those are very new services we are not providing now. I want to highlight specifically the DNA collection and evidence and the samples evidence and storage, because that's a very unique service in Czech Republic, which now, if you want to use it, if you want your DNA and your samples collected after the assault, you have to cooperate with the police from the very beginning. But we know that this is not what many victims of assault, of sexual abuse, want to do right after the assault. So with our center, with our service, they will have the opportunity to have the DNA samples and samples collected and evidence collected. And they can use it up to 1 year afterwards if they choose to press the charges and talk to police. So basically, yeah, we are here and help, and thanks to the project, to support victims so they have place where they can go and someone to talk to. Thank you.